Hey, this is Skaban. So I just got this in today. It's the Logitech Lift ergonomic mouse. And Logitech goes by Logical in Japan, so that's why the box has Japanese writing and that on there. And I'm very excited about this because it's very similar to the mouse that I've been using daily for maybe 3 or 4 years now, the Logitech MX Vertical. These are ergonomic mice, which are purported to have health benefits like better posture and less strain on the wrist while using this kind of handshake style grip. And as someone that uses a computer daily for work, spends long hours editing video and doing other tasks on the computer, I found that this handshake style design to be much more comfortable for long sessions, and I honestly don't see myself going back to a more conventional style mouse anytime soon. So being such a big fan of the MX Vertical, and with the Lift having such a similar design, I want to go through kind of some of the similarities and differences, what's unique about this model over the MX Vertical, and give my thoughts and experience using it for about a day or so. So these two mice have quite a bit in common. Of course, they share a very similar ergonomic design, but they both have a custom button right here that by default changes the cursor sensitivity. They also both have a very nice scroll wheel with a button, and they also have an inner set of buttons here where your thumb would normally rest that are customizable. On Logitech software, you do get a good set of recommended options, but you can dig deeper and really set things up to fit your workflow, to the point that you can assign different custom functions based on the program you're using at that moment. And both of these mice are also compatible with Logitech's Flow software, which allows you to use your mouse pointer across 2 different devices. And beyond that, both of them can be paired to 3 different devices, 1 channel for the included USB dongle, and 2 for Bluetooth profiles. While these 2 mice do share a lot of similarities, there are a few distinct differences. At the time of recording, these 2 mice use different software to edit those custom functions I was talking about earlier, but it does seem likely that they will unify the experience in the near future, which is great for someone like me that now owns both of these mice. The new Lift model is also available in 3 colors, and I was really happy about these options because the MX Vertical only came in this kind of gray graphite model, and now I was able to match my home setup with this kind of 2-tone white mouse. But I'm curious to see how the white model will fare when I take it outside the house. I've used the MX Vertical outside many times, and because of the color and all, you don't really see as much grime and dirt and scratches, but with this very clean white color, I'm sure that it's going to get a lot dirtier quicker. Another big difference is the Lift is also available as a left-handed mouse, but at the moment it seems like this is only an option for the black model. This is really nice because I believe the MX Vertical was never offered in a left-handed design. Visually and design-wise, there are some immediate differences that stand out. The Lift is a bit more rounded compared to the MX Vertical, which I found to be a more natural fit for this handshake style grip. And this is something that I never really noticed on the MX Vertical, but definitely since the Lift came out, you can tell there's a distinct difference between these 2 types of designs, but in actual use it's something that might just fade into the background. Something that does stand out to me that could be a deciding factor between these 2 is the customizable button that by default changes the sensitivity. If you do end up changing this to a custom function on the MX Vertical, it's much easier to go from the forward back inner thumb button to this custom button, whereas on the new Lift, you kind of have to do some awkward movement to reach this button. It's not a huge deal for all users, but for those that want to take advantage of all the customizable functions, I do see the MX Vertical being a little bit better when it comes to this factor. So when you line these 2 up, you can tell that the Lift is slightly smaller than the MX Vertical, and where the MX Vertical felt pretty much a perfect fit to my hand size, I did immediately notice that the Lift was a little bit cramped for me. Now I don't know if I'm just biased because I've been using the MX Vertical for a much longer time, so it is something that I do want to test out further with the new Lift model. Logitech does have a hand size chart on their website for those that are wondering which one would be a better fit for their hand. That being said, the Lift does look like a better option for those that like to work outside the house for several different reasons. For starters, the Lift has this very elegant magnetic trapdoor style design, and then underneath here you have the USB transmitter tucked in underneath the mouse. And I really like having one of these as an option when I'm on the go. You could just plug it into whatever device you happen to take with you. I take a variety of different devices out on the go, and I don't often want to mess with Bluetooth profiles and all, so just being able to take this out of here, plug it in, and get started is a huge plus for me when I'm looking for a mobile-oriented mouse. The MX Vertical does have a similar USB dongle, but I don't believe there's any location to stow it on the mouse itself. Another reason why I feel the Lift is a much more mobile-oriented design is that the clicks are much softer than on the MX Vertical. So as you can tell, it's a much softer sound much quieter, and I think better for when you're working outside the house. The battery life also makes the Lift feel like something for travelers or people that are out of the house frequently. It takes one AA battery, which is very easy to replace no matter where you find yourself in the world, and Logitech claims that you could get up to 2 years of use with this. I don't know what the battery life on the MX Vertical is offhand. It's definitely not 2 years, but it's still pretty good. I don't find myself charging it that frequently, and when I do, I just leave it plugged in maybe overnight once, and I get another maybe 6 months of use out of it, something like that. So the battery life is not bad on this, but it is pretty impressive that you could get 2 years off of a single AA on this one. Something else that I noticed pretty early on is the Lift is pretty bottom heavy. It's not something that really affects my use when I'm moving it around on the table or a mouse pad, but when you hold these in your hand, you can definitely tell that the MX Vertical is slightly lighter, even though it's a bigger model. I did end up taking the battery out of the Lift, and at that point, they feel a little bit more similar, but like I said, it didn't really seem to affect my actual practical use of this when I was testing it out for today. But it's something I'm going to keep in mind when I do further testing, but I did want to mention it as it's pretty obvious when you hold up these two and compare them. So those are my first impressions of the Logitech Lift ergonomic mouse. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment down below. I'm really interested in hearing your thoughts and questions on this mouse so that I can address them in the upcoming full review video. In the end, these two mice seem like very similar tools, and if you already own the MX Vertical, I'm not sure if you're going to get much benefit from the Lift unless you're like me and want to like have a smaller option to take with you on the go. And I also wanted to see if there's any noticeable difference between these two mice when it comes to Bluetooth connectivity, as well as test out the new Lift model on, say, iOS devices. So get subscribed to see the full review. I'm Skipen, and thank you so much for watching.